Good evening, children. Thank you for joining us. Over the next 5 nights, we're going to be reading you a bedtime story from the new book, Seb and Polly Planet on their ocean quest. Join Seb as she discovers a solution to plastic pollution with her new superhero friend, Polly Planet. And the book is by Michelle Cassar and the illustrations are by Yves Barat. So, are you sitting comfortably? Are you, children? And then we shall begin. Sabrina, known fondly as Seb to her friends, loves splashing about in the sea, pulling crazy faces, secretly staying up late and eating anything that will make her windy pop. She also loves her big sister Charlie, but don't tell her that. Most of all, however, she loves animals, adventures and superheroes. One night, when she was supposed to be asleep, Seb sat up in bed with a new comic book in her hands. She gazed through her open window out across the sea to the bright moon. Seb loved it when the moon was full and it lit up her room. It meant she could read in secret without the light on. Seb was a bit sleepy, but she had just got to the best bit and there was no way she was going to stop reading now. Then, just as her new favourite superhero was hatching her latest plan, she heard a loud creak. Thinking she might get caught, she pulled the duvet over her head and clicked on her torch to carry on reading. Under the covers and clutching her comic book in her hands, Seb closed her eyes and dreamed of joining the superhero. It was just the sort of quest Seb knew she would love. Then she heard a very loud whoosh. Slowly she took the sneakiest of sneaky peeks. Instantly she dropped her torch and sat bolt upright, her curly hair standing on end. Astonished, Seb rubbed her eyes, then rubbed them again. Standing in front of her by the open window was Polly Planet, the new superhero from her comic book. Wearing big old-fashioned flying goggles, her blue and gold cape shimmering in the moonlight, Polly's face broke into a huge smile. Seb stared in astonishment. Polly Planet really does have super special powers. You're from my comic book, stammered Seb. I was just wishing I could join you on your quest. Well, that's why I'm here. Nice to meet you, children. I'm Polly Planet. Are you ready? Are you ready to come on the quest? Come on then, let's go. Unsure if she was dreaming, but always ready for an adventure, Seb nodded her head excitedly. She sprang out of bed and grabbed a jumper from the big pile on the floor. Finally, she was going on a real-life quest. Snapping on her flying goggles, Polly held out her hand and turned towards the window. Hold on, said Seb, reaching for a scrap of paper. I'll just leave a note. Done. Stretching out her hand to Polly, Seb whispered, let's go. Polly skillfully guided him out of the window and they zoomed off into the night sky. Soon they were whizzing over the town, then looping the loop over trees before swooping down towards the beach and out to sea. Everything Seb could see below glittered in the moonlight. It's incredible, she exclaimed. I know, replied Polly, as they headed further and further out over the sparkling ocean. Hold on tight, there's more. They flew all through the night, and just as sunlight was starting to push through the clouds, Seb spotted land. Squeezing Polly's hand, she said, look, there's an island. Are we going there? Yes, that's where we're heading, replied Polly. As Seb and Polly got closer, they joined a flock of huge birds and flew with them. Seb noticed their extraordinary long wings. The magnificent birds glided effortlessly through the air. Then thwack! Seb and Polly Planet landed with a thud, throwing up a big cloud of sand. Seb spat out a mouthful. So why are we here? She asked, as she picked out sand from between her teeth. You'll see, said Polly. Standing up, they shook themselves, both giggling as sand flew everywhere and Seb's hair sprang out wildly. Look! Seb explained. Thousands of fluffy birds. There are millions of birds living here, Seb, said Polly. The fluffy ones are the chicks of the birds we were just flying with. Chicks? But they're huge and so cute, cooed Seb. And wow, they're very noisy, she said, laughing loudly. Seb noticed there were fluffy chicks as far as her eyes could see, and some even waddled over to peer at her curiously. One looked deep into her eyes. They really were the cutest things she'd ever seen. Continuing their walk along the beach, Seb suddenly tripped over, landing with a rustle and a crunch. What was that? She asked as she brushed her knees. A piece of bright red plastic caught her eyes and she picked it up. Hold on, she said, as she turned her head to look around, her eyes widening. There are lots of bottle tops from the drinks we always buy. Seb's eyes were now boggling. Turning to Polly, her eyes narrowed. Look, she said with a frown, there's plastic everywhere. How did it get here? Crouching down beside her, Polly spoke quietly. Plastic is a clever and complicated material, Seb. Humans use it more than ever, and often it's used just once and thrown away. That's called single-use plastic. A lot of it is brought to the island by the adult birds, who confuse it with food. Plastic also finds its way into the drains and the rivers, which lead to the ocean. Some washes up in the waves, ending up back on land, even as far away as here. Does it harm the chicks? Asked Seb. It does, yes, said Polly gently. Feeling helpless, Seb said, surely something needs to be done. Why can't people recycle? That's what we do at home. Because plastic recycling is not the best solution, answered Polly. Recycling plastic isn't the best solution, asked Seb, surprised. So what is the solution if it isn't recycling? That's what we've been taught in school, she said, crossing her arms and huffing. Ah, you're taught the 3 R's, Seb. Reduce, reuse, recycle. But people tend to concentrate on recycling and they often forget about the really important one, which is reducing, exclaimed Polly. With a big sigh, Seb said, but I'm just one little girl. What difference can I make? Ah, but you can make a difference, Seb, said Polly. I'm going to show you how you can be POW. Be what? POW. Pondering the word for a moment, Seb glanced up into the sky. It was full of the birds she'd flown with earlier. She then looked back at the chicks on the beach and all of the plastic surrounding her feet. POW sounds cool, if it will help the chicks. So go on then. What is POW? Sitting down beside her, Polly explained the brilliant yet simple idea known as POW.
Well, there you go, children. That was chapter 1 of Seb and Polly Planet on their ocean quest. Now, I do hope you've enjoyed meeting Polly Planet. That was a surprise, wasn't it? Now, I do understand that some of you may not have heard about what you've just learnt in the book about there being plastic on the beaches. So you come back tomorrow and you'll be able to find out with Seb what Polly's going to teach her and what POW is. So you do that tomorrow. And in the meantime, we've made you some activity sheets because things are a bit different at the moment, aren't they? We're all at home, aren't we? I'm at home, look, and I'm trying to use this spang-dangly thing. Before, I had a cameraman. That's why he made it look very fancy. James Light TV. But now it's just me trying to learn how to use this. So tomorrow, if you download the activity sheets with your grown-ups, they can get it in the link below. Oh, I've seen them do that on the television. They can get it in the link below, and we've made you lots of fun things to do, like word searches and colouring in and activities you can do around the house. Worked with an actual teacher on it, so she's made it very, very special. So get the grown-ups to do that and you can be doing the activities before chapter 2. Not tonight though, children, because tonight's bedtime, isn't it? So if you go to bed, and we'll see you next time for chapter 2. Okay, good night, children. Good night. Good night. Oh, there it is. Okay, good night.